Hello there, my name is Triple S. Apologies if I sound weird, I think I'm coming down with a cold. And today we're going to react to and point by point analyse the April 8th, 2025 trailer for Predator Killer of Killers. Let's dive on in. Point number 1. We're shown that we're going to be following 3 different predators in 3 different periods of history. One time period with a predator hunting Vikings, another with a predator hunting samurai, and the last with a predator hunting World War II fighter pilots. All 3 periods that fans of Predator have long wanted a Predator movie to be set in, especially the samurai one. Point number 2. I don't know if you would call this a combi stick or just a spear, since we never see if it can retract or not. But it is neat to see that the blades can fan outward, tearing open whatever they are stuck into, which is a feature I don't think we've ever seen from a Predator combi stick on the big screen before. Point number 3. Yep, Dan Trachtenberg directed this film, and he also has a story by credit, just like with the movie Prey. This makes me so excited for this movie because I loved Prey, that was a great movie, and it makes me excited for the live action Predator movie Badlands that's coming out in November. We Predator fans are eating good, I'll tell you what. Point number 4. I like how they've overlaid the Viking woman saying,
"You are old enough now,"
with John Torres getting his draft letter, like she's saying, "Yep, you're old enough now to go to war, John. Join up, jump in a plane and go shoot down some zeros." Point number 5. So the Viking woman is telling this boy, maybe her son or grandson, I don't know, about the Predator and how they need to kill it before it kills them. Yet we don't see the boy again for the rest of the trailer. Maybe he joins her in trying to kill the Predator, but he dies or gets seriously injured and has to leave her to do it alone. Or maybe he never joins her, and she's just telling him this to explain why she has to go off to try and take out the Predator. And if she doesn't come back, then he'll know what's happened to her. Point number 6. And speaking of the Viking Predator, we get to see him here in all of his glory. And he kinda reminds me of the assassin Predator from the movie The Predator. Also, interestingly, besides his mask and his metal loincloth thing, he's pretty much naked, and he appears to not have a right hand, but instead a device attached to his arm. A device that really reminds me of an extendable boxing glove, which is just hilarious to imagine a Predator using. Point number 7. I find it funny this Viking woman is employing the Elon Musk strategy of carrying 2 shields, but since they're broken, she can actually use hers more offensively by like jabbing and stabbing with the jagged wood and sharp points of the shield's metal rim. Point number 8. Same goes for the swords the guy who gets extendable boxing gloved was using. It looks like they just took the noses from 2 sawfish and stuck hilts on them. Point number 9. The World War II Predator, the one we see the least of in this trailer, looks very unique in that he appears to not have any dreadlocks. Even the most different looking Predator we've seen so far, the feral Predator from Prey, had dreadlocks. Even the Pred alien in AVP Requiem had dreadlocks. Maybe this guy is from a subspecies of Predator that just don't have dreadlocks? Or maybe he had his removed for some reason. What do you guys think? Point number 10. This shot of the Viking Predator must either be flipped or take place before it lost its right hand, because we can see very clearly that it has its right hand, not its extendable boxing glove. I'm leaning more on this shot just being flipped because it and the next shot of the Viking woman with her 2 shields has an air of final showdown to it. Point number 11. Speaking of unique looking predators, the Samurai Predator is also unique, in that its lower mandibles look like the feral predators, but as for its upper mandibles, it just doesn't have any. I doubt though there's any possibility they had their mandibles removed like there is with the World War II Predator's dreadlocks, so I can only assume only having lower mandibles is a trait of this subspecies of predator. Point number 12. Along with having more armor than the Viking Predator, this predator also has more tech, since we can see it has some form of shoulder-mounted weapon. Does it shoot plasma or a more low-tech projectile equivalent to a shuriken? Point number 13. Torres falling into the water, transitioning to the Viking woman falling into the water is pretty neat. It makes me wonder though if this is just something they've done for the trailer, or will it be like this in the actual movie? Will the stories in this anthology not happen one after the other, like how they're done in say Halo Legends or the Ballad of Buster Scruggs? Instead, will the movie jump between the time periods, each cut leaving you on a cliffhanger of one character as we switch to another? Would that be confusing to follow? Because I think it could work and feel more satisfying to see see the ends of all 3 stories at the end of the actual movie, as if you've experienced one big journey rather than 3 stories told one after the other. Point number 14. Speaking of the end of each character's story, I think this might actually be a glimpse of the end of the Viking story. The Predator grabs the Viking woman, but she'll somehow get out of it, leaving the Predator to drown. Since we can see the extendable boxing glove is attached to a chain attached to something under the water, so it's stopping the Predator from getting to the surface. If this does end up being from the end of the Viking story, it would be a bit of a letdown that they just showed us that in the trailer. Point number 15. In this shot of the samurai Predator, you can actually notice he's injured. The Japanese man has managed to stab his sword through the arm of the Predator, and from what I can make out, maybe even through the Predator's wrist gauntlet. Disastrous if so for the Predator if it's broken beyond repair, because just like with what happened to the City Hunter, there goes its ability to erase all trace of itself via self-destructing its gauntlet. Point number 16. When the Predator slams the Japanese man down on the ground, we can see in the foreground some Predator technology with blinking red lights. I wonder what it is. Is it a weapon the Japanese man can use against the Predator, killing it Harrigan style? Point number 17. I wonder if the World War II Predator using this grappling hook type weapon against the fighter pilots is its way of using low tech instead of just blasting the planes out of the sky with plasma, because I imagine it would be very easy for the Predator to blast all the planes out of the sky with plasma. And where's the honor in that? This trailer has gotten me very excited to see this film, and I hope it does really well for a variety of reasons. Mainly because I don't want to go back to the time of the Predator franchise being frozen in stasis after a series of flops, but also because I think the market for animated movies aimed at adults is a very untapped market. Besides anime, cartoons made for kids that adults also enjoy, and series that just go straight to streaming, there isn't much in the way of big blockbuster animated movies for adults. Like, I really enjoyed the animated Starship Troopers movies. Yes, there are in fact animated Starship Troopers movies. I bet a lot of you didn't know that. And I want more movies like that, and if this movie does well, others might also. And then, when filmmakers realise how much people want movies like this, how much easier they are to make, how there's less stress with replacing voice actors who don't want to return compared to live action actors, and by replace, I definitely don't mean replace with AI, I mean replace with sound-alikes, how much easier it is to not have to load up a load of equipment and all of your actors and assistants and everything like that to go to a certain place to shoot certain scenes during a certain time of day, how much easier it would be to make a multiverse movie franchise without having to pay a dozen actors millions of money units just for them to only appear for 15 minutes and say pretty much nothing. How much easier it would be to make a sequel 32 years after the last film without having to deepfake actors or have the movie itself take place 32 years later to explain why everyone is now 32 years older. When filmmakers realise all of this and that people will pay to watch these animated movies, I think the animated movies for adults market will take off, and I really want it to take off. As a lifelong Predator fan, I can't wait for this film, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it, as will other Predator fans. The only negative reactions I can predict people will have with this film is the low frame rate style, which I know will be a turn-off for some, because I know the Actman said he wasn't a fan of that style when he saw gameplay for South of Midnight.
But personally, I am not really a fan of intentionally low frame rates for shows or games. I know it's an artistic choice and some folk really like the style. It's just not for me. I think it looks choppy and unfinished.
And the other negative reaction would be from people who wanted to see a full live-action Predator vs. Samurai movie. They might feel, since now it's been done as a third of this animated movie, that's all they're going to get. Though I myself like to view it as if this movie does really well, and people love the Predator vs. Samurai story, and they make their love for it known all over the internet, then that might convince 20th Century Studios to finally decide to make a full live-action Predator vs. Samurai movie. Thank you everyone for watching Triple S Reviews. If you enjoyed the video, and I hope you did, give it a like to let me know, and if you want to see more, then make sure to subscribe and check your subscriptions tab for new videos. I also have a variety channel where I post a variety of different videos. If any of them interest you, check them out. I've been Triple S, you've all been amazing, and I shall see you all in the next video.